you think because you're Saucy Santana that you're like above everybody?
I don't think that I'm above nothing.
Thankfully, I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. Just like
Bitch, you're saying that this table because of me. Bitch, I see very mother.
Sitting at this table because of me. You sitting at this table because of me. Because I could have did this without you. I took out the touchdown. Shout out to Bambi. Shout out to going to jail. What's wrong with you?
We're not trying again, so. This is the vibe.
The dynamic, fast-paced world of reality TV, where relationships and drama blend together seamlessly, put Zell at the center of a revelation that would have an impact on his circle of friends. Atlanta was a city known for its inventiveness and its citizens' hustle. But beneath the surface, secrets were brewing that had the potential to transform everything in the love and hip-hop community. Zell had always been a witness to the complex dynamics of relationships and had seen friendships, BL's romantic relationships, and conflicts develop while being watched closely by a curious public. But nothing could have prepared him for the whispers, a bombshell involving his close friend Saucy Santana and his boyfriend Chef D. What started out as little more than a rumor before becoming a full-fledged story struck Zell as both shocking and plausible, that Chef D was getting money from Saucy to stay in the relationship. He found it confusing that despite their obvious chemistry and their tendency to be the life of the party, this new information presented a completely different picture of a relationship that may be based more on transactional dynamics than on true attachment.
Man, just out here chilling, doing my thing.
You think everything is a joke, bro?
Let's see this tattoo. That's the joke.
Real. What you talking about?
That's real.
Increasingly interested and worried, Zell decided it was time to look into it. He mentally relished certain situations. Nights were a time of laughter and friendship, but he could now feel a strain that had not existed prior to the late-night gatherings and jokes. There seemed to be a new level of complexity infused throughout the private discussions. As the days went by, Zell found himself struggling with the ramifications of this revelation. He realized that the pressures of fame could distort perceptions of love and loyalty, making it simple for people to hide deeper fears and insecurities behind the glitzy exterior. Instead of accepting vulnerability, people turned to transactional relationships for solace. The notion that someone as lively and gifted as Saucy could feel the need to pay for company resonated with him. One night, as the Atlantis skyline glittered under him, he wanted to guide his friend through this dangerous area. The star, Zell, decided to confront Saucy about the rumor. They assembled in their favorite lounge where there was music, laughter, and the aroma of delectable food. The atmosphere was lively, but there was a lingering sense of the talk he was about to start.
Negative every step of way.
But don't go get no random girl pregnant and believe everything she's telling you.
She's not a random girl, though.
Why do you have to be so disrespectful?
We got her whole drive.
Don't nobody say nothing about you and what you got going on or anything like that.
They said she get drunk and everybody. That's what they said.
You do too.
I never heard
You
that.
do too.
Where's the paternity test?
This is my thing with you.
You can meet somebody.
Why does it matter to you? Even if it ain't. Even if it ain't. What does it matter to you?
He chose the ideal moment with tactful word choice to communicate his thoughts about the relationship and made it apparent that his worries were rooted in friendship. At first, the always charming Saucy laughed and dismissed the discussion, but Zelda could see that glimmer of doubt in his eyes. As the evening wore on, the laughter subsided and a more in-depth conversation began. Zelda's remarks resonated, making Saucy vulnerable as he considered the truth of his connection with Chef D. Saucy talked candidly about his anxieties, his fear of being alone and abandoned, and acknowledged that the demands of fame had made him feel insecure. This insecurity led him to believe that receiving money was a way to win loyalty. Zelda listened carefully, her heart heaving with sympathy, understanding that Saucy's worries were not unusual in their world, where relationships could be short-lived, and the glitz and glamour often trump trust. She stressed the value of sincere relationships, reminding Saucy that love should be founded on true connection and respect, rather than money.
What you mean? What do you mean?
Like, do it come with an obligation?
Ain't no obligation behind me getting the tattoo. This was for me. I want to do it. You're someone who's special to me. Yeah, we've been through hella. You put me through hella, but I did this for me. I ain't gonna lie. I don't trust you. I mean,
Why you don't trust me?
With each revelation, the atmosphere changed as Saucy started to face the truth of his circumstances. He had been looking for assurance in the wrong places, using money to keep someone close when what he really wanted was a bond based on trust and emotional connection. The idea of paying Chef D for companionship came from a place of fear rather than love. As he accepted the truth they had discussed late into the night, revealing worries and dreams that had been suppressed, Zell could feel a burden leaving Saw's shoulders for the first time in a long time. Saucy appeared to discover clarity in the midst of his emotional turmoil. Dawn broke over Atlanta, and a new day full of opportunities appeared. After realizing that paying for companionship was only a short-term solution that couldn't replace the emptiness left by true love and support, Saucy was resolved to re-establish his relationship with FD in order to find authenticity and a deeper emotional connection, a renewed sense of optimism. He knew that Saucy's path ahead would be difficult, but he was determined to support his friend's side as he made his way through this new phase in a society that frequently made it difficult to distinguish between convenience and love. According to Zell, genuine, meaningful connections were still possible. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the city was bathed in a warm glow. With Zell's unwavering support, Saucy felt empowered to pursue a love that was true to himself and didn't depend on financial incentives. He decided to confront Chef D about the nature of their relationship, in the hopes of building a bond based on honesty and emotional depth, rather than one based on the beauty of vulnerability. Ultimately, the journey of self-discovery and sincere connection would mold Saucy's identity in the realm of love and hip-hop, as well as his relationships. One thing was certain: as the drama played out in Atlanta, love, when properly fostered, would always prevail against the shallowness of the glamorous world surrounding them. Fascinated and growing more worried after deciding it was time to look into it, Zell imagined nights full of laughter and companionship. But now he sensed, as he went through these memories, that the glitzy exterior frequently concealed deeper insecurities and fears, particularly in the world they lived in. As the days went by, Zell found himself struggling with the implications of this revelation, realizing that the pressures of fame could distort perceptions of love and loyalty, making it simple for people to find solace in transactional relationships rather than trusting romantic relationships or accepting vulnerability. One evening, as the Atlanta skyline shimmered, the thought that someone as lively and gifted as Saucy could feel the need to pay for friendship resonated with him. He wanted to guide his friend through this dangerous area. Under the stars, Zell made the decision to face Saucy about the rumors. They met at their favorite lounge, which was lively, with music, laughter, and the aroma of delectable cuisine. However, the talk that was about to start weighed heavy on the atmosphere. Taking time with careful word choice, Zell addressed the subject and conveyed his thoughts about the connection, making it apparent that his worries were rooted in friendship. First, Saucy, who was always charming, dismissed the conversation with a laugh. But as the evening went on, the laughter subsided, and a more in-depth topic started. It was Zell's words that made Saucy consider the truth of his relationship with Chef D in terms of vulnerability. Saucy talked candidly about his anxieties about being alone and abandoned. He acknowledged that the demands of celebrity had made him feel uncomfortable, which made him think that receiving money was a way to win people over. With a heavy heart, Zell listened carefully, understanding that Saucy's worries were not unusual in their environment, where partnerships may be short-lived and trust was frequently eclipsed by glitz and glitter. Zell underlined the value of genuine relationships, reminding Saucy that love should be founded on genuineness and respect for one another rather than material gain. Identifying the appropriate time, carefully selecting his words, and sharing his thoughts regarding the partnership, he made it apparent that his worries are rooted in friendship. Saucy is always charming, laughed, and dismissed the talk at first. But as the evening wore on, a deeper conversation emerged, and Zell could see the glimmer of doubt in his eyes. Zell's remarks touched a nerve, causing Saucy to consider the truth of his connection with Chef D in a vulnerable way. Saucy talked candidly about his worries about loneliness and desertion, acknowledging that the demands of celebrity had left him feeling uneasy, making him think that receiving money was a way to win his loyalty. Zell listened carefully, his heart heaving with sympathy, and he understood that S's worries were not unusual in their world, a world where relationships might be short-lived and trust was frequently eclipsed by glitz and glitter. Zell stressed the need for sincere bonds, reminding Saucy that love should be founded on sincerity and respect for one another, not on financial dealings. As the conversation deepened, Saucy began to confront the reality of his situation. The idea of paying Chef D for companionship stemmed from a place of fear rather than love. He had been searching for reassurance in the wrong places, using money as a way to keep someone close, when what he truly desired was a bond built on trust, an emotional connection. With each revelation, the atmosphere shifted. Zell could sense a weight lifting from Saucy's shoulders as he acknowledged the truth. They spoke late into the night, unraveling dreams and fears that had been buried under layers of expectation. For the first time in a while, Saucy seemed to find clarity under the chaos of his emotions. As dawn broke over Atlanta, a new day emerged filled with possibilities. Saya was dead determined to redefine his relationship with Chef D, seeking authenticity and a deeper emotional connection. He realized that paying for companionship was a temporary fix, one that could not fill the void left by genuine love and support. Zelt, a renewed sense of hope, understood that the road ahead would be challenging for Saucy, but he was committed to standing by his friend's side as he navigated this new chapter. In a world that often blurred the lines between love and convenience, Zell believed that the possibility of real, meaningful connections could still thrive. As the sun rose higher in the sky, casting a warm glow over the city, Saucy began to embrace the journey ahead. He resolved to confront Chef D about the nature of their relationship, hoping to establish a bond rooted in honesty and emotional depth. With Zell's unwavering support, he felt empowered to pursue a love that was true to himself, one that didn't rely on financial incentives but was instead grounded in the beauty of vulnerability. In the end, the journey of self-discovery and genuine connection would shape not only Saucy's relationships, but also his identity in the world of love and hip-hop. Atlanta, as the drama continued to unfold, one thing remained clear. Love, when nurtured authentically, would always triumph over the superficiality of the glamorous world around them. Intrigued and increasingly concerned, Zell decided it was time to investigate. He replayed moments in his mind, laughs filled with camaraderie, but now he could sense an undercurrent of tension that hadn't been there before. The late-night outings, the shared jokes, the intimate conversations, all seemed tinged with a new layer of complexity. As he sifted through these memories, he realized that the glitzy surface often masked deeper insecurities and fears, especially in the world they inhabited. As days passed, Zell found himself grappling with the implications of this revelation. He understood that the pressures of fame could warp perception of love and loyalty, making it easy for individuals to seek comfort in transactional relationships rather than embracing vulnerability. The idea that someone as vibrant and talented as Saucy could feel the need to pay for companionship struck a chord within him. He wanted to help his friend navigate this treacherous territory. One evening, as the Atlanta skyline shimmered under the stars, Zell decided to confront Saucy above the rumors. They gathered at their favorite lounge, a place filled with laughter, music, and the smell of delicious food. The ambiance buzzed with energy, but the weight of the conversation he was about to initiate hung heavily in the air. Finding the right moment, Zell approached the topic delicately. Choosing his words with "care," he shared his observations about the relationship, making it clear that his concerns stemmed from a place of friendship. Saucy, ever charismatic, initially brushed off the conversation with a laugh, but Zell could see the flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. As the night progressed, the laughter faded and a deeper discussion began to unfold. Zell's words struck a chord, prompting Saucy to reflect on the reality of his relationship with Chef D. With vulnerability, Saucy opened up about his fears of loneliness and abandonment. He admitted that the pressures of fame had left him feeling insecure, leading him to believe that financial support was a means to secure loyalty. Zell listened intently, his heart heavy with empathy. He knew that S's concerns were not uncommon in their world, a world where relationships could be fleeting